All right, welcome Speed Gaming 4 to another Super Metroid multi-category tournament race. This is the start of week number 6, the last week of the Swiss tournament. My name is Tracy M. I will be taking you through this race between Kipp and LakeDemon, a 4-1 versus 4-1 matchup. A lot of implications on this one. The winner will go on into the playoff bracket for sure. The loser still has a shot. They will have to play in an elimination game amongst all the other 4-2s and could still make it, but not guaranteed. Today we're playing any percent. The vetoes when is fouled. Kipp deferred, allowing LakeDemon to veto first. LakeDemon vetoed low percent ice, which is not a surprise because LakeDemon does not have a low percent ice PB. Kipp turned around and vetoed vetoed triple bingo, which also is not a surprise because he's got a nice PB advantage on any percent. And as good as Kipp is at all the bingo categories, he better off, in my opinion, taking the less volatile route. Whereas triple bingo, anything can happen. So we're going to see a little bit of any percent. Okay, I'm gonna go see if we can get this synced up. All right, we're gonna get that stream delay fixed up, and as we see Kipp heading over to Zevis and LakeDemon, we see coming out. And to talk about these runners, so Kipp has a really nice PB in this. A 42.59 is his any percent PB. LakeDemon at 49.13. So there is quite a difference here. And yeah, you can see why Kipp wanted to do any percent. But of course, this is Super Metroid. Anything can happen. So we'll see how this goes. All right, now we're seeing this. See, this is much better. Okay, we're gonna head down. I suspect Kipp will run what he likes to call the Captain Picard route. Kipp is a new route runner, but he also is very cognizant of who he's playing in general, and will tend to take extra safeties based on his opponent. With the 7-second PB, 7-minute difference in PBs, I do expect to see a lot more safety saves. I also expect to see Captain Picard route. Well, he'll go Fantoon and then Kraid, then Ridley, and then Dragon, instead of going to Ridley before Kraid. This has the advantage of a little bit of extra safety. For the lava dive, he'll have for the gravity jump in the lava dive room, he'll have the various suits, so that makes that a little bit safer. He has the option of picking up the Kraid E-Tank. He might choose to take that depending on what kind of lead he has at that point, if he does have a lead. LakeDemon, I actually don't know what we'll see here. His time indicates that he may still be doing old route, but I don't know. So we're gonna have to pay attention to see what he decides to do. Okay, we are pretty much in sync as we go up the elevator, though, so that's pretty cool. LakeDemon doing a nice job of keeping up with Kipp so far. Okay, we see them going up the climb. Both doing ledge grabs. Both looking very smooth doing it. Oh, LakeDemon having a little bit of an issue with that last wall jump. Kipp doing a very nice job getting through the parlor. LakeDemon not too far behind. And we'll head into the bomb chorizo fight. All right, both runners at, oh my god, both runners at full energy. Both doing a nice job getting through bomb chorizo. Kipp leaving through the Alcatraz. LakeDemon not far behind. All right, and we head down into Brinstar, into the first sequence break of the game. Using this mock ball in order to get the early supers, or so we don't have to fight Spore Spawn. And we're gonna head over to Big Pink. Okay, gonna pick up these missiles right here, and then the charge beam. Okay, so we know Kipp's gonna head up when we get past this point. We're not sure about LakeDemon. I do expect Demon to go down. We'll see in just a moment. All right, Kipp heading up as expected. Nice job on the hero shot. LakeDemon is going down. So it'll be a while before we see these routes sync up again. In fact, they don't really sync up until the Mother Brain 3 fight. But there are a few places we can kind of gauge how far apart they are. Typically, you'll see if the runners are close, you'll see Kipp will be around the entry to Lower Norfair, while LakeDemon picks up his gravity suit. So we'll keep an eye on that. And here we're going to see the first of the safety saves that I talked about with Kipp. He is going into a Fantoon fight. He's very, very, very good at Fantoon. But with, like I said, a 7-second difference. Well, actually, more like, sorry, a 6+ minute difference on PBs. Let's get those units of measurement correct. He is going to take these extra safeties just in case. The Fantoon fight with just power suit, 1 E-tank, only 15 missiles is a rather tough one. And even the best runners in the world can screw it up. Meanwhile, LakeDemon going into his Kraid fight, using the 2 missile, 3 supers quick kill, does a very nice job. Let's see, I think that might work for the CWJ. Let's see. No, not going to work. First try on the horizontal bomb jump for the backup, so good. Okay, here's another question point for LakeDemon. We'll see if he picks up the Kraid tank here. If he wants to run with extra tanks. Nope, gonna skip it. Nice mouthball out of Kraid's lair and heading down into Norfair. Meanwhile, Kipp starting his Fantoon fight. Oh, nice first round. Looks like he's going to get a slow on the second round, though. Not able to get to 2 round. Oh, nice fast on the third round. And does finish him off. Meanwhile, LakeDemon picking up the all-important high jump boots, grabbing some extra missiles. And he'll head on out. Okay, LakeDemon gonna head over towards Bubble Mountain so he can get his speed booster and wave beam. Kipp gonna grab his last pack of supers. Kipp, I'm pretty certain, typically goes 20-10, so we'll see if he picks up another missile pack somewhere along the way. Most likely the wave missiles. Kipp looking very smooth as he goes through the wreck ship. Meanwhile, LakeDemon's gonna go ahead and pick up that speed booster. Very nice attic and comes out of there with 199 health. That's really good because when he gets to this next little choke point that new route has, going through and picking up that gravity suit, you want to have at least. I mean, ideally you need to have at least 121. Those spikes that he's going to jump over do 60 damage. He has enough to take 3 hits with that 189. Typically, you want to take just 2 hits, but he's got a little extra leeway here. He does make it in just 2 hits. All right, LakeDemon going to go ahead and pick up his wave beam. I always call this the most important sequence break of this game. This allows you to skip a whole bunch of stuff. The game intends you to pick up a speed booster to go pick up ice beam, to go up to pick up your power bombs, go down to Crocomire and pick up your grapple beam, all to come back here and use those grapple blocks you see to pick up your wave beam. We can skip all that just by doing a simple wall jump and going straight to the wave beam here. All right, Kipp now outfitted in his shiny new gravity suit. And I suspect he'll head down to Kraid next. Well, LakeDemon is going to, of course, head over towards Phantoon. Now he's got his nice goodies from the Bubble Mountain area. All right, LakeDemon doing a nice job leaving Norfair. Kipp using a bit of a moonfall. Kipp, one of our longest holdouts of Moonwalk and Moonfall, but does fall victim to the Vile Plume. Ironically, I think he came out with more health than he started because he did manage to farm some of those bugs while he was there. Oh, very nice moonfall down that red tower area. That is not an easy moonfall to do when you don't have Screw Attack on. LakeDemon, meanwhile, getting a nice Alpha Spark. And of course, Kipp's going to go ahead and pick up this Baser Beam here. In New Route, we don't ever get a chance to pick up Plasma by the time it's available. It's too far out of the way and doesn't save enough time. The amount of time it takes is longer than the time it would save, I should say. So we'll grab that Spacer instead. Alright, LakeDemon having a little bit of trouble getting out of Red Tower, but he does make it through on the first try. Also falling victim to that same Vile Plume on the way in. Kipp gonna pre-open the Meridia tube so that he can get in a little bit faster when he comes back. Oh, almost got that jump. Didn't quite make it. Doing the nice strat of supering out all three of those blocks while running through. And Kipp's gonna head in over for his Kraid fight. So we talked about why this is a little bit safer. Let's talk about why this is a little bit slower. There are two factors at play here. The first being that we don't have speed booster for the room that Kipp just went through with the Space Pirates. The other thing that you'll have to keep in mind, if you do Kraid after Ridley, you basically get a free set of super missiles. That mini Kraid will always drop supers unless you're in Health Bomb. So you're basically getting a free refill there on your way to Meridia. Whereas with Kipp having already killed Kraid, when he comes out of Lower Norfair, he's going to have to farm a little bit to get those supers. Okay, LakeDemon going to spark his way across, make his way over to Phantoon. Health is a little bit low. He does have a Various suit, so he should be fine. But he is going to have to watch out for that. Alright, Kipp is going to grab the extra energy tank. I actually really like this call from Kipp. Right now, it's going to give him that a little bit of extra safety heading over down towards Ridley. He may choose to skip one of the other E-tanks, either the Ridley E-tank or the Batwoon E-tank, depending on how things are going. Oh, and LakeDemon down to 34. This is very dangerous. Did open with a nice X Factor, though. Okay, getting some health drops. Still lower than he'd like, but much safer at this point. Alright, finishes up Fantoon with 44 health, so he's gonna need a little bit more before he heads over through bowling. Okay, meanwhile, picking up that high jump boot E-Tank. This might be the last E-Tank he picks up. Probably depends on how the Ridley fight goes and what his health is when he gets over to Bot Woon. And picks up those all-important high jump boots. Okay, LakeDemon now going to pick up his last pack of supers. You'll notice Kipp didn't pre-open the door earlier. One of the nice things in New Route is because you have those power bombs, you can kill that Nova on your way out with the power bombs and go ahead and open the door on your way out. And Kipp going to go ahead and pick up the ice beam. You want to do that before you head over to Lower Norfair. Head over to Bubble Mountain because we're not going to come back this way until after we're done with Ridley, and we want that extra damage output. Ice Beam, not a huge addition to that damage output, but it does take the shots of Ridley down in terms of charge shots from 87 to 60, not counting ammo. So definitely want to grab that. Okay, LakeDemon in his attic. Didn't quite get the shine spark he wanted there. It does get some pretty nice health drops. 126 should be plenty for him to get through bowling, since he does have that barrier suit. Those spikes will only do 30 HP damage. And now Kipp's gonna head over to Bubble Mountain so he can pick up his speed booster and wave beam. It's like LakeDemon taking the extra time to make sure he's got plenty of health to go through bowling. He's gonna probably take 3 hits. It is a lot harder to do this in only 2 hits when you have high jump boots than it is when you don't have high jump boots. Or you could just shine spark across. Very nice. Has a very tight short charge, so LakeDemon is showing us how it's done. And Kipp using a very nice Ice Beam Bubble Mountain strat. Bubble Mountain is one of my favorite rooms just because you see all sorts of runners doing all sorts of strats. That's a really neat one that you don't see there very often. It's a nice simple one too. Okay, LakeDemon running into his gravity suit. Now he's going to head on over to Meridia. Kipp grabbing his speed booster. He's going to get his wave beam, then he'll head down towards Lower Norfair. We talked about this earlier, the sync of when the old route runner picks up gravity suit versus when the new route runner picks up their or heads over to into Lower Norfair. But keep in mind that's assuming a PRKD route, so Ridley second. But Kipp's doing a PKRD, Crate second. So I'd say they're pretty decently synced. Okay, Kipp's gonna run into these wave missiles. Probably gonna be the last pack of missiles he picks up. We'll get his wave beam, and then we'll head back towards Lower Norfair through what I like to call the Remembered Highway, because we never used it until we got to New Route. This part right here that Kipp's going to be going through is the game's intended way for you to get to Bubble Mountain and get your speed booster. And of course with Gravity Suit, it's perfectly safe because that lava just won't damage you. Okay, LakeDemon heading into Meridia. Kipp heading down towards Lower Norfair. Nice chronic boost to get in. And we'll do a gravity jump. It also takes that opportunity to turn off ice and spazers so he can do X factors on Ridley. And on the elevator, turns that gravity suit back on. for lower Norfair. You save a few frames by doing it on the elevator transition like that. Keep getting his fast pillars charge. And we'll now head into the worst room of the game, which definitely lives up to its billing in this with this item set. Gets the nice power bomb. Uses the Space Pirates iframes in order to jump through them and do that wall jump. Gets the nice morph ball over the head of the last Space Pirate. One of my favorite strats. Just looks so cool. And heads into the amphitheater. Makes very quick work of that amphitheater. Meanwhile, LakeDemon picking up the Batwoon E-Tank. Definitely wants to have that, because probably going to be using Shine Sparks to kill Dragon. And chain damage being a thing, very dangerous part of this run. You want to have all the energy you can get. In fact, he decides to farm a little bit extra. He wants to get to full supers, probably. Decides 8 supers is enough, and heads on off to Dragon. Meanwhile, Kipp making his way down to Ridley. Let's see if Demon can get that full halfie. Not quite. Loses the Shine Spark on the way in. And Kipp gonna head over to the Metal Pirates. Gonna use Speed Echoes to kill them. Only gets 2 super drops out of that. That's amazing. That's not normal. Okay, Kipp gonna make his way into the Ridley fight. Gonna start out with at least 1, maybe 2 X Factors. And fire some super missiles. Looks like he's gonna do that second X Factor. It's like 1 stray particle he's got to keep track of. Okay, it does manage to hit after a while. The problem with those stray particles is when they miss, you can't fire any shots of any kind. Kipp then unloading all his ammo, and we'll switch that ice and spacer back on so he can do full damage, or as full as this beam combo does. Meanwhile, LakeDemon finishing up Dragon, gonna pick up that space jump. And he'll head over to his plasma beam. Kipp not quite done with Ridley. I'm not sure. I don't think that was an on-purpose grab, though. It's a nice turnaround on Ridley. It's 2 shots up over there. And Ridley is done. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and turn off that ice and spacer beam again, because he'll be using X Factors on Batwoon and most likely on Dragon as well. Does pick up the Ridley E-Tank. He may just be planning on picking up this and the Batwoon E-Tank, or the Batwoon E-Tank might be conditional on what his health is when he gets there. He was in pretty good health, so I don't know that he actually needed to pick that up, but, you know, as we said earlier, Kipp, knowing his opponent, is about 6 minutes slower, is going to take these extra safeties. You know, LakeDemon picking up his plasma beam. Kipp getting a nice speedball out of Wasteland. And LakeDemon killing those enemies, demonstrating just what the plasma beam has to offer us, as those enemies get one shot with the plasma beam. Ooh, Kipp doing a really nice job avoiding those key hunters. And is going to head on out of Lower Norfair, while LakeDemon's going to make his way towards Lower Norfair. Gonna take a bit of damage with that extra E-tank. He can do that. Those key hunters will do 50 HP of damage on you with gravity suit, and he's got plenty of health to take that to absorb that hit. Okay, LakeDemon with one more pickup, he's gonna have to go pick up his ice beam. And Kipp's gonna do a little bit of farming, and this is the thing I talked about earlier. One of the differences, this farm would not be necessary if Kipp were going to kill Kraid next, because he would get that free super refill from Mini Kraid. But since he's not going to go there next, he's already killed Kraid, he's going to go ahead and do that extra bit of farming. Kipp's very smooth making his way out of Norfair. And LakeDemon picking up that ice beam. Looks like he's going to take the south route down to Lower Norfair. Optimally, this is the faster route. We'll see how it works out for him. Of course, when we always talk about those optimal routes, just because something's more optimal for the best players, we'll say, doesn't mean it's more optimal for you, but he's going to go for it anyway. It's not a huge difference either way, though. Oh, and he does get gets most of that space jump almost all the way through that room, which is really cool. It's one of the few places you get to use that, where you can speed booster into a space jump, and still has a really good amount of momentum going through the next room. So very nicely done by LakeDemon. And it's almost as optimal as you can do that. Meanwhile, Kipp gonna head over to Botswoon. Another place he'll do those X Factors. And do the Decalled strat. Each one of those particles will do 300 damage, and with supers not doing double damage to Botswoon, then it's just another 6 supers to finish him off, and Kipp doing a very nice job getting a 1 round. And with this full health, he may not grab this E-tank. Yeah, he's gonna just skip it. And Kipp gonna go for that full halfie. Doesn't quite get it either. LakeDemon does get the speed booster charge, the Shine Spark through the fast pillars, and we'll head up for his worst room of the game. Using the strat's a little bit different, but he'll get up there. Gonna kill one of those space pirates, and use the ice beam to freeze one to get that power bomb off. Takes a little damage going past the last pirate. Doing a good job keeping that space jump through amphitheater. Keep combining Shine Sparks with ammo. A little bit high with that one. But finishes up Dragon with the super missile. And he's not going to pick up the space jump here. The amount of time it takes to pick up that space jump is not worth the amount of, again, just like the plasma beam, not going to be worth the time save. Or the amount of time you'd save with space jump doesn't save enough to warrant going through 2-door transitions and an item fanfare. Okay, LakeDemon gonna head straight into his Ridley fight. No farming. And Kipp gonna make his way out of Meridia. And of course, for LakeDemon, because he's got that plasma beam, it's only going to be 20 shots, and he's going to use all those shots, even though super DPS is a little bit better. You don't really want to use those supers here at Ridley, because you don't want to have to farm them back up for the Torian section. LakeDemon leaving with a full 20-10 on his missiles and supers, wants to save those for Torian. And Kipp making that nice jump to that middle platform to get out of Meridia, and we'll head over to Torian. Has quite a bit of a lead here, which is pretty much what we expected. We'll see if there are any more safety saves at this point. Probably not going to stop at the ship. Has really good ammo at 11 and 7. The health will take care of itself with the Metroid drops. And the only question, if he's going to save, I think he would do it at the Torian save, right before the Zebs and Mother Brain herself. Yep, as expected, Kipp running right past the ship. Doing a nice short charge to just run right through that wall. LakeDemon making his way out of Lower Norfair. A very good run in its own right. And Kipp gonna sit here and wait as the G4 statues turn gray in order to allow him down into Torian. Oh, LakeDemon having a little bit of trouble with those key hunters, but does get out with 24 health. So he's fine now. All right, LakeDemon gonna make his way out of Norfair. Okay, Metroid Rooms 1. Gonna go switch to missiles on that last Metroid. 6 a little bit low at this point. Gonna probably use some missiles here. It's down up to 7 supers. We'll have to be a little more. He's gonna go ahead and use grouping strats on this one. Ooh, still at 7 supers. Let's see what he does in this last room. Okay, 28. Not the best, but it should be okay. That's why we pick up that extra super pack, or extra missile pack. You will see some runners go in here with 15 and 10. And 15 and 8. Trying to think that isn't even enough. Yeah, 15 and 8 is not enough. So it's a good thing he has that extra regular missile pack. Yeah, would need a refill. You'd have to open the doors with the regular missiles and then get a refill. Should be fine though with the 20. He could choose to play it a little safe by going ahead and opening this door and then taking the refill. Yeah, that's exactly what he's going to do. I really like that call. Give yourself a little bit of extra leeway. He's not going to come back after this. He'll use supers on both the I door and the red door. Keeping in mind that it takes 1 super to open a door, and that's the equivalent of 3 missiles. So you're actually doing, unless you're going to refill, you always want to use those supers. For the I door, it's neutral because of course 3 missiles or 1 super, and it's going to take that safety save. Again, I like this choice. He knows he's got a bit of a lead. LakeDemon heading into Torian right now. If something bad does happen to Kipp, we are going to have a race on our hands though. Okay, Kipp, no trouble with the Zeb skip. All right, this will be a 60-shot fight. And of course, we don't do stand-up glitch because we don't have enough E-tanks, and you wouldn't want to do it without Plasma Beam anyway. Okay, LakeDemon in his first Metroid room does decide to use some grouping strats. Ammo looks really good at 29 so far. Okay, Mother Brain in that catch-up phase. She'll start that right after she gets slightly over 75% down. That means it's only 15, really only 14 shots left. Kipp gonna get damage himself down as he's done with the most difficult part of the fight. Meanwhile, LakeDemon gonna set up for a baby skip. And gets it. Yeah, I see a question about Kipp's any percent PB. It is a 42.59. Like, yeah, 0.99. Yeah, it was kind of an interesting situation where we actually went back. I say we as if I did anything. I didn't. But it did go back and frame count it just to see if it really was a 42. But it was a 42 by the barest margins. LakeDemon, on the other hand, with a PB, a listed PB of 49.13. I don't know if he's bested that since the tournament started, but looking at a really good pace here. And yeah, as chat points out, a 42 is still a 42. Okay, I'm hearing from chat that LakeDemon now has a 48.07 PB, so that's really nice work in the time since the tournament started. All right, now just Mother Brain 3 to go for Kipp. While LakeDemon starts his fight off, he will have a 20-shot Mother Brain 2 fight. Taking a little bit of damage from Mother Brain 3, but at this point it doesn't matter. Alright, now just time for the escape. Okay, Kipp doing a nice job through the lead ox room. Goes for that last moonfall. He's gonna head over and try and get this last shine spark. And does. Gets the full-on behemoth spark. And Kipp's gonna make his way to the ship. And he will finish up with an official SRL time of 45:39. GG to Kipp. And now let's turn our attention to LakeDemon. And see if he can get that PB. Alright, LakeDemon finishing up Mother Brain 3. Still has a shot at that PB, so let's see if he can get it. Alright. So far, so good. Gonna make his way up the lead ox room. Makes quick work of it. Gets that last shine spark. Making his way through the pearl very nicely. And we'll finish up with an official SRL time of 48:15, which means this timer's a little bit off, but GG's to LakeDemon. Still really close to that PB. And we'll see if he will come in for interview, but right now we already have Kipp here. GG's, Kipp.
Hey, Tracy, thanks. What's up?
Oh, not much. Just having a good time watching you all play. It was a very nice run from both of you. I like your choices here. You know, getting those safety saves, doing the Picard route, as you like to call it. I also like your choices. If you want to talk about that for a second.
Yeah, this was a pretty, I think I mentioned it in my chat. This was just kind of like a business run for me. The primary goal was just to finish the run without dying. It really wasn't an overly great run in terms of, I made some pretty, bad mistakes in a few places in terms of like speed running, but I didn't put myself in a position to really like die or anything. Unfortunately, the game slowed me down in several cases. That Ridley, I don't know if people were actually paying attention, but Ridley behaved in an incredibly wild way that does not normally happen. It wasn't dangerous because I had so much health and stuff, but it was still real slow. And then the what I got one super in the last 6 Metroids, I think.
Yeah, that was
And
yeah.
yeah, and
Definitely
so
noted that.
just for the math record, basically if you're running 2010, then you can afford having 9, but you can't afford having 8. So I was forced to shoot the first door, refill, and then even then, if I'd have gotten a super sniped, I would have been soft locked. So
Mhm.
that's the reason why I went ahead and saved. I wasn't planning on saving before Mother Brain,
I wondered.
but after that, I was kind of in a bad spot. So I didn't
Mm.
want the entire race to come down to one button press.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely not. And I also, you talked about this in your chat before playing, but your strategy on the vetoes, and I know you'd probably love to play a triple bingo, but why don't you talk about why that was not your choice to do?
Yeah, if this had been a different week, I might would have considered it. But I've already on 2 different occasions in this tournament, out of 5 rounds before this, chosen or basically either chosen a category or allowed my opponent to choose a category that was actually the worst of the 3 options for me versus that person.
Hmm.
Mainly because I wanted to run some categories that would be fun, and also in the first week when I ran Hundo, which is my worst category, everybody was complaining about how many 80% runs there were, so I just did that so people couldn't complain. But I haven't really had that courtesy given back to me. No one has allowed me to run low ice, and to be honest, I doubt that that's going to happen in this tournament. But it depends, I guess, technically on how far I make it in the playoffs. This is going to lock me into the 5th seed at worst,
Hmm.
and to be honest, that's the most likely scenario for me. And given how stacked the top of this tournament is, that means that somebody in the top 4, presumably if Sloters and Cutie win this week, obviously Zost and Shiny Zenny are gonna be in the top 4 seeds. So one of those 4 guys is gonna have to play me in the second round of the playoffs, if I make it that far. So I'm kind of looking forward to seeing what happens. First and foremost, I'm just glad to be in, and then whoever I get first round, I'll have to study up and see what they prefer to do, and give myself as good of a chance to win as possible. But I'm feeling pretty good. I think the multi-category tournament is the kind of thing that fits my skill set pretty well, and I'm
Hmm.
having a good time. So I hope everybody's enjoying it.
Yeah, and to your point, a reminder, and of course you know this, but to those that don't know, the playoffs are going to be a best of 3. And we're gonna get 3 different categories, and of course, you and your opponent are each gonna veto one category that just absolutely doesn't get played. You're each gonna choose a category that will get played, and game 3 is gonna be chosen from randomly chosen from the remaining 3. So, any thoughts about what your strategy is going into that part is gonna be?
Not really. I mean, I'm having a good time, and I'm not, like making this a extreme priority. I mean, as you know, Tracy, I've talked with people who watch my stream. I don't really have as much time to play right now as
Mhm.
I would have in the past, and
Yep.
it just is what it is. It's not it's not an excuse or anything like that. It just kind of is a reality. So I don't think anybody's gonna let me choose low ice based on what I've seen so far. I think the only player in this tournament who would be willing to do it is Zost.
That's what I was thinking.
I take that back. Rich already told me he would run it against me, but he's a friend and he wants to do it for fun. But
Okay.
other than that, from a strategic point of view, I don't think anybody's going to purposely choose it. Um, so I just assume it's going to get banned, and I'll just have to wait and see. I like triple bingo. I don't think I'm great at it, but I do think it could be a wild card. I think I'm decent at RBO.
Mhm.
On any given day, I think one thing a lot of people who just kind of watch a lot don't realize is, like, people are going to be favored in any percent and any percent bosses, but on any given day, there's a lot of people who could beat different people in that category. So
Mhm.
I'm not really afraid to run anything against anybody. I'll just, we'll just see what happens, and see how I'm feeling when it comes time.
Yeah, and to your point, I mean, this is Super Metroid. Things happen. The
Exactly.
wrong drops, the bad Ridley. How often do we see people when they're trying to do PB attempts? They reset at Fantoon. I mean, it just things happen. So, um,
Right. Exactly.
All right. Anything else you want to add before we close this out?
Well, I do want to say GG to LakeDemon. I don't know if this was a PB or not. The SRL is one time his timer on the screen is different.
Yep.
I assume the SRL is accurate because it starts on its own, right?
Yep.
So it looks like he just was about 10 seconds behind his PB, which is a fantastic run. He's also had a great tournament. I mean, coming into the last round 4-1 is really good.
Mhm.
So congrats to him and good luck to him in the play-in race. It's going to be nice now. I mean, it's only Wednesday. I can
Mhm.
kind of chill now because I think next week is the play-in race exclusively.
Yep.
So it'll be fun to watch that and not have to worry about being in it.
Mhm.
And I'm also just looking forward to seeing all my other friends, race their races this week. So this has
Mhm.
been a great tournament for me in terms of enjoyment. I've really enjoyed watching the races and doing commentary. So it'll be fun to chill for a few days and enjoy.
Yeah, thank you, Kipp. And yeah, GG's to LakeDemon. Yeah, we're not sure what was going on with that timer, but somebody in chat said his PB was 48:07, so it's definitely a higher than what he was coming in with, because he came in with a 49:13, and to take your PB down by a whole minute during the tournament is still pretty darn good. And yeah, I mean, LakeDemon was one of our new players. He hasn't been in any tournaments, to my knowledge, before this. So definitely GG's and congrats for doing really well in this tournament. And yeah, good luck in the play-in to LakeDemon. Unfortunately, couldn't come in because he doesn't have a mic, but definitely hope he does well in the play-in race. So
Yep. And thanks, Tracy, for the commentary. And thanks, everybody, for watching. I will catch y'all later.
all right. Yep, that'll be it for us. I will remind everybody that we do have a sponsor for this tournament, providing a prize pool. Prize is provided by Balls Guarana and Mega Cat Studios, so definitely check them out. Thank you to Kipp and to LakeDemon for putting on a great show. Thank you to SpeedGaming, and thank you to all the rest of the organizers in the tournament. I am Tracy M. We do have more coming up today at 8 o'clock Eastern. We have Maniacal versus Glacio Souza. And we do have it on good authority that they are playing triple bingo. So for all you bingo fans, we get a little bit of triple bingo action tonight. And at 9 o'clock, we do have Stump versus Cross Product, and then a whole bunch of other matches scheduled the next days. So thank you all for tuning in, and we'll see you at 8 o'clock.